Hey everybody, good morning. Hope all of you are doing well. Over the last few months, I've been out on the road a bunch, doing a lot of ticket sales training. And one of the most common questions that I get on the road from teams and from sellers in sports is how to get more referrals. We all know referrals are valuable leads to call on. If you ask any seller in any industry, they'll tell you getting referrals and calling on a warm lead or a referral is one of the most fruitful and valuable leads you can get. So in our business, it's no different. So I wanted to share a couple quick thoughts to all of you out there selling in sports and how you can get some more referrals and how hopefully that can help you grow your business. The first thing about referrals is you won't get them if you don't ask. And so I think half the battle is just asking for those referrals. And so the second part of that is knowing when to ask and how to ask it. And so a couple things that I just wanted to share, and again, hopefully this stuff is valuable for you. The first thing is when you're calling in to a new buyer, a new prospect, a cold call, if you will, you can always ask when you've been shut down. So we've all been on these calls where it's just, we're trying to overcome their objections with our rebuttals, and it's not working. And so you can always say like, hey, it's crystal clear that a season ticket package isn't going to be a good fit for you right now, but maybe you could help me out. I'm always out trying to get to know more people in this community. And so who are the 3 or 4 biggest fans that you know? And when you say fan, make it applicable to their team. So who are the biggest Suns fans that you know? And you want to try to verse it like that versus just asking, hey, who do you know, or do you know anyone in your network that would be interested in buying season tickets? If you ask me that, I'll say no. But if you ask me who are the biggest sports fans I know, or who are the biggest Suns fans I know, or pick any team, I'm more likely to tell you because chances are I know more fans. And so that's one way you can do it. When you're shut down on an initial call, you can say, hey, it's crystal clear. Make the ask. Who are the biggest sports fans you know? I'd love to talk to them about getting them involved with the Suns or getting them involved with the team that you're with. So that's one way to go about it. Another way to go about it is you want to have it develop through organic conversation. So asking questions about them and their family and what they like to do for fun, what their kids are into. So for example, if they mention that they have a child that goes to school or a child that plays sports, asking that follow-up question, what sport, what league, what school. And then if you have, for example, on a group sales opportunity where you work with a lot of youth sports teams, you can very simply just revert back to that conversation, revisit it, and say, hey, I remember earlier you spoke that you have a kid, or little Johnny is on a hockey team, and you said that they're pretty active, and I just wanted to let you know we've actually got a program built specifically for teams like Johnny's where there's an opportunity for them to come out and potentially skate on the ice during a game, or come out and play a game on the ice, or get in early and sit near the penalty box. And whatever your fan experiences might be, whatever you might be able to leverage on that side, lead with that and say, we do a lot of this stuff already specifically for teams like yours. How open would the team be to getting involved with the Arizona Coyotes or getting involved with the New Jersey Devils? If we were to put something together like that for the team, do you think the kids would be open to that? And the key is if you paint a picture of how good the experience can be, they might pique their interest. They might say, oh, that sounds kind of cool. How does something like that work? And then you can immediately follow that with saying, well, hey, I'd love to talk to someone over there at the team when it comes to setting up these kind of outings and activities. Who might that be? And your person might not be the ultimate decision maker on kind of doing something else, but they might know someone who is. And you can have them refer you to the team or the coach. And always ask if they can make an introduction, whether it's face-to-face or through email or through a conference call. And if they can set you up, you have a much better shot at taking the ball and kind of running with it. But I think the key there is you lead with an experience, you lead with something different, unique, that's fun. Like, hey, what if there's an opportunity we can get little Johnny and his team to come out and skate on the ice? You think they'd be open to something like that? And if they say, yeah, like, how does that work? How much does it cost? Immediately take that and sort of run with it. Well, hey, I'd love to follow up with someone on the team side and talk to them about how they can get involved with our season. So that's a good example of taking something that you hear, using something that you have to offer as a hook to kind of paint that picture of the experience, and then leverage their intrigue to try to get a referral. I think it's a good way that can come up just organically. And there's some other little tricks and some things you can do. For example, if you work with business, for example, and let's say they buy suites from you or they buy season tickets from you, you can always go out to see them, drop off the tickets, drop off parking passes, make a servicing touch point, go out to them. But sometimes you'll notice that your companies actually work within an office park of some sort, and so they might have other suite mates around them. And so we had a seller in Phoenix that was really good at this. That they would go and sit with their customer, drop off the gift, but then they would notice a suite walking in, saying like, "Hey, I noticed down the hall there's a real estate company. Just curious, like, have you had a chance to meet that individual? I'm always or spend any time with them. I'm always trying to meet new people out in this community and grow my professional network. And chances are, if they work right next to each other, they've seen each other in the halls, they've seen each other in the break rooms, and sometimes they'll say, yeah, well, actually, we've played golf together, and I've gotten to know them pretty well over the last couple of years. Then you immediately follow that by saying, hey, would you be comfortable making an introduction for me? And sometimes what'll happen is they'll actually get up and walk down the hall and walk you right in there and make the introduction. And they'll say, hey, this is my guy over at the team. He's been great. He's helped us out the last couple of years. Just wanted to make the introduction. And then our job isn't to try to sell them on the spot, but then just be yourself and say, hey, it's great to meet you. Exchange business cards. I'd love to buy you a coffee, learn more about your business and what you guys are doing, and I'd love to see if we can help you in some capacity. And you get a lot of business cards that way. You drop them a note, hey, great to meet you. Then maybe go out and set a follow-up meeting, and oftentimes, not every time, but oftentimes those conversations will lead to meetings and lead to pitches and ultimately lead to sales. And so those are a few things. In closing, some takeaways on this is you always want to ask for it. You can ask it when you've been shut down on the front end. One thing that I didn't mention, actually one more sort of way to ask it that I'll kind of throw in here, is when you've made a sale. So sometimes, let's say you have a prospect out for an appointment, you sit them in the seats, they end up purchasing, they're really excited. You can always use lines like this where kind of it's their excitement levels at the peak, saying, hey, like, welcome to the team, we're excited to have you here. Like, who do you know in your professional network or your personal network that would also love to become a member of the team, or that you'd love to have sitting near you or sitting around you here at these games? And if they're excited, they're maybe more likely to give you another name as well. And so it's a good way to ask it. And then, law of reciprocity too. So I would go back into your network, and everyone always asks you for upgrades or bonus tickets or free things, or you've probably gone above and beyond for a number of your customers and your prospects. And so if there's people that, you've given a lot to, you can always re-engage those folks and say, hey, I know I've, helped you over the course of the last couple of years. I was hoping you might be able to help me out. I'm trying to get in touch with some new fans and grow my professional network out here. Who do you know that's the biggest fan? Or who do you know that might be interested in coming out and checking out a few more games? Law of reciprocity can also work to your favor here. So when it's an individual, kind of recapping that, it's when you get shut down, potentially when you make a sale, you can ask for it then. Or you can go back to people that you've worked with for a couple years and beyond and look at who you've done nice things for and maybe re-engage those folks and make the ask for their help as well. So all three of those are good ways on the individual side in terms of getting more referrals. And then as it relates to businesses, remember the example of going out and you dropping off the tickets and being observant of the suite mates in their particular area. And some of those same rules apply for a business. If they buy, you can on the spot, you could also ask them for a referral. In the same way that you would an individual. But I think the office complex and the office park, they're just easy ways. They're organic. You're already in the office. I think the strategy and the key with some of this stuff is lead with the experience. Remember the hockey example that I shared, maybe getting a referral to doing a group night. I think that could be really important. I think you want to try to have them be natural in conversation. You want to try to avoid making it sound like a survey or an interrogation. It's like, hey, thanks for coming on board. So talk to me about this referral, this referral, this referral, this referral, and just go down the list. I wouldn't recommend doing that. I would try to have it be natural and have it be organic. But the key above all else, if you take one thing out of this call, is that referrals are consistently one of the top sources of sales for all sellers all over the country in all industries. And in the sports business, it's very similar as well. So you have to ask for them. If you don't ask, you won't get them. So being mindful of those things and try to make them conversational, make it organic. And if you do that and you tease them with these experiences and these other things you can do as a part of that, I think all of those things coming together should hopefully help you get more referrals. And the more referrals you get, the more meetings you'll set, the more warm conversations you have that'll lead to pitches, and hopefully the more sales you make. So my hope here is, after watching this video, hopefully you've stuck around with me for 10 minutes. There's some things you can take out of this video that you can use in your business right away that can help you achieve results. And so hopefully some of this stuff was helpful. If I can ever assist with anything else, don't hesitate to reach out. You can always email me, bob@sportsbusiness.solutions. Follow along with me at Sports Business Solutions on social media. I'm on Twitter at SportsBizBob. I'm on the road a bunch, so if you're one of the teams that I've worked with or I'm going to work with here in the future, I look forward to either staying in touch or to meeting you out on the road. And best of luck as you're selling in your market. Thanks. Have a great day.